each and every one of us represents humanity as a whole. But what my point is to take responsibility for it all, to see it all, not be caught up in a puritanical idea, that only positive, because these are ideas, only pure, only perfect, only happy, only holy. We are total. We are total. We are whole, and we have to see it all. Because sometimes when you're in the spiritual path, when you're really not forget about the spiritual path, because sometimes spiritual is overused. I'm just saying, when you're in your intelligence, when you're really honest, you don't feel happy. You might feel sad. That's the fact. You might feel sad, and I say be sad. Experience sadness. If you don't experience sadness, you don't have any clue about compassion. You have no clue about compassion till you have not been touched by the sadness of being human. What it means, that sadness. It opens you up, the experience of sadness, doesn't it? When you're touched by sadness, in that moment you feel a compassion, a companionship with people. In that sadness, people open up when as collective misery happens to people, in earthquake or 9/11, which happened in New York, or something which is everybody is affected by. There is a sadness of humanity. So everybody comes together in that moment. They forget about their story. They go out and help. When the tsunami hit in the south of India, I was there, and you would be astonished at what people were doing in Thailand or these places which were hit by tsunami. What people were doing, who had lost everything. Everything was gone, and yet they were just serving. They were helping each other. Why? Because everybody was suffering. They were touched by sadness, and in that they were creating joy. Through that, as they were coming together, the sadness turned into compassion, and compassion opens you up to the presence of love, a love which is unconditional, a love which is ever transformational, a love which ever moves forward. So we don't have to deny. We have to be real and allow all of these experiences to dawn. We have made pain, sadness such a taboo. We are afraid of it. Mm-hmm. We want to escape it. We don't understand it, so we want to escape it. We have antidepressants, biggest selling medicine, because we want to escape it. We don't want to feel the feeling. We can't be in the experience of the experience. We want to escape the experience. So when we are faced by something like that around us, the subconscious mind doesn't register it. So what it brings is apathy instead of empathy. Because for us to experience empathy, we have to be with it, to walk in those shoes. That brings empathy. For that, you have to be ready to experience a feeling which is not good. You have to have that much distinction between reality and a feeling. You have to have that capacity of stillness, of silence in you, where your story doesn't matter, where you have a particle in you where you can be, no matter what the circumstances, you can be with it. That's compassion. When you can be with it, you can really pay attention to pain, because you're not going to get caught in it. You're not going to get caught in it and then go depression in yourself and heaviness and all of that. So you can be with it and really come from a place of non-attachment, non-identification. So that is why the experience of allow ourselves the experience of a not mind-identified space is so important. The practice of meditation, the practice of stillness, the practice of disidentification with our story is so important for us to be able to of service, truly. Because to be of service it's a practice. It's a practice. There is nothing wrong with pain. There is nothing wrong with sadness. There is nothing wrong with it. It's part of joy. It's part of humanity. It's part of being human. So that's an experience of being human. Sadness. That you experience it, and that the process continues, leaves you, so you can be sad and at the same time have a joyous awareness of that sadness. You understand? And be the journey. Yeah, and then there is a sadness which is opening you, evolving you. That's above all is the key, right? A sadness which still keeps you in the process of opening, not shutting down. closing and going into violence, but a sadness which is just opening